Hey guys, welcome to Max Salazar Diagnostics. I have another instrument cluster, this time working on a 2003 Audi TT coming from Colorado, Auto Taylor. This is your instrument cluster. So they sent these because they had a very common problem, which is the fuel gauge level. I don't know why it's always down when it fails, and the screen. Let me move you over to the next view. So this is going to be nice and a close up. I'm going to do the test with the Rostec BCDS. This is probably one of the best tools you can use. It's wireless. It has Bluetooth, and you can use it wireless. You can use coding and everything with do coding with this tool. Let me take you over to the folder that I made for them. And this has been for almost 10 days in here because I have to order parts. So this is, I normally connect everything to do the test. I take a picture with the repair form so they know that this is their cluster. This is with just ignition on. We can see that the temperature gauge is definitely not in this rest position. Tachometer and RPM there are, and the fuel gauge was somewhere. All right, so this is again just doing more tests, and we can see here now that the center is completely gone. I mean, you cannot read anything in there. Same thing on the needles. That's just to go into information that says fuel gauge inoperable and the lower center display not working. This is me doing the sweep test. In the sweep test, we'll see this tachometer at 3,000. The mileage goes to like 62 miles an hour. I'm not sure why they never put them in 60 exactly. And these two in the center should be right at middle, half a tank and half a temperature. And they're not. This is just so you see the tool. This is called the HexNet from BCDS, and it's it has Wi-Fi actually. It's connected by Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and it's really good tool. And I have a special cable specifically for these clusters where I can, turn them on and do all the testing pretty quickly. All right, this is just a process of the repair, so I always keep a record of what I do. It's just so the customer, you can see how intricate it is, because in order to remove the display and do the repairs, you have to take the cluster completely apart. And these clusters are not simple, and the reason is because of the needles. And the stepper motors are really hard to remove. They have a special tool that you need in order to get them out. And they're easy to break. They're very expensive. Each of those stepper motors are $100 each, my cost. And I got a little burn this time because I gave them the all price before consulting, and they have raised the price. But I keep my word. That's it. But I know for the next ones that I have to raise the price because that's everything in the world, right? It's price changes, and I should have thought about that. All right, so this is more of the repair, just removing everything. This is the new LCD install, soldered in place, and actually this is not in the correct order, but this is the test for all the lights, because I resoldered the entire board, replace capacitors, diodes, etc., voltage regulator, and I do a full test, make sure that all LEDs are lighting up. Especially, not especially, they're all very important, but the center ones are the ones you will be able to read that LCD. So all these should light up, otherwise I replace them. And then behind each of the gauges, there is, in the small ones, one LED, and on the big needles, two LEDs that will light up that needle that has kind of like a reflective material on the pin, on the point, or on the pin tool, let's go, and that reflects the light. And that is just now covering up to make sure that I can take a picture of the rest of the cluster, so we can see that all lights are working 100%. And that's it. All right, so let's do the test. So let me move the camera now to this view, and let's see if I can put the let me actually take you over to, how can I do this? Give me 1 second, guys. I found a way to show you, because BCDS, for some reason, when I'm trying to do like a pop-up window, it only selects one window, but I did the display capture, so that's why you can see everything in there. All right, so let's power this up. All right, now you can see that we have a nice and full, bright and operational display, which is great. So in BCS, this is the main page or the main window that pops up. We're going to select the control module. And here, since we don't have the entire vehicle, I'm going to select 17 instrument cluster. And then we're going to wait for the scanner to communicate with the cluster, which now we know that it has the soft coding, component shop number, all that stuff, right? So that is very important. And then we go into output tests. So this is now populating that. So the first test which we'll see is the sweep test. So I click on next, and that moves all the needles to full position, and then come back to the center ones into the center. This is 62 and data 3000, which we can see now that are perfect. I was actually doing the test back and forth. I'm trying to make this as short as possible to not, because I have a full video if you want to see about this TT cluster showing the full component and wire diagram and everything in there. These are very old components. I'm talking about 2003, and they start from like 1999 or 2000 to like 2004. And I already have a full video that you can watch if you want, or you're interested in see a little more. This time is going to be just a test for the customers and to prove that, you know, everything is working fine. And what test can you do? BCDS is a very inexpensive tool, and you have so much more. I mean, this, you can change the long coding. And one thing that I always recommend to anyone that has BCDS or the Audis, right, is to, when you have a good Audi or Volkswagen vehicle, is to completely read the entire car and save that information. And BCDS saves all this long and short coding, and that is super important. It's a very valuable information, because let's say, you know, this instrument cluster gets damaged, and they want to ever replace it. All the information you need is there, the long coding, so you can just copy those numbers, and that will make sure that everything that was for that vehicle gets transferred to the new cluster. So if it has, let's say, you know, navigations or whatever, it has leather seats, all that coding is in here. So, and that is what is important. All right, the next test. This is going to do lamp test, which now you can see all those bulbs on, the warning lamps. The next one is seat belt light, which right here, gong. Not sure you can catch it, but it is definitely there. Segment test is all the segments, and you can see there is all lighting up. So 100% good. No pixels, nothing. All is working good. Switch and instrument lightning. That is just the lights on the clusters, the lights itself. And I hope that you can see how nice and red all the needles are, because again, they are being lit behind by an LED. And that's it. That's all the tests we can do for these 2003 instrument clusters. Guys, it's a very short test, but I think it's important. I like to always show that, at least pictures of the repairs, when it was done, and then show the customer that everything is working fully operational, because they don't know that until it gets to you. So this is where I separate my business to anyone in the world. Because when you send a component in here, I'm not replacing your component. I am repairing your component. And this is where sometimes I have people, it's like, oh, I can buy that computer new for $300. I'm like, yeah, that's not new. That's a used module that is not repaired. You plug it in, it works. And if it doesn't work, good luck. Here I am testing your computer or your module or whatever it is, right? And I am fully repairing. I just don't repair the concern. I repair the entire board. So I first reproduce your concern, repair that concern, and then I do the full repair, which is voltage regulator, capacitors, diodes. In the case of the clusters, I resoldered all resistors and diodes and everything that needs to be redone. On this case, I don't replace all the gauges, stepper motors, because they're very expensive and they don't fail. except for that fuel gauge. I'm not sure exactly what is wrong with that one, but that's the one that fails all the time. And it is otherwise will go to a really very expensive, because I mean 4-stepper motors at 100 each. And actually there's $100 the fuel gauge and the temperature, and these ones are 150. So $300, $500 just on my costs for the gauges, and then repair and replacing the LCD. So it's going to go up to $1,000 or more, right? So it makes no sense to anyone. So that's what I'm trying to give a very good repair, but not in making it too expensive, because I repaired one of these ones. So the one I have in the video, I think it was 5 years ago. You see what I mean? So 5 years ago, no complaints, no problems. Why would I make a customer or you spend in order gauges that they don't fail? It's like the Land Rover LR3s. I have replaced probably 2 stepper motors, and that was only because somebody was there and damaged it, but not because they failed. So, and they're 20 years old, so they're very well built. Same thing is in here, and here is more about the solder components and bad LED LCDs, which is really common in here, and that very unique fuel gauge that fails, and it's nothing in the actual board, it's the gauge. So not sure, because if you go in the cluster, the temperature gauge and the fuel gauge, they look really close to each other, but the temperature never fails. It's always the fuel gauge. Maybe because it moves a lot more. I don't know. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.